What? Hi there and welcome to another Adventure Bikes Australia video. My name is Ben and I'm not an expert motorcycle rider or motorcycle mechanic in any way whatsoever. 2.5 years ago I bought this beautiful green Gen 3 KLR 650 and 2 years ago I made a video about some power mods that I'd put on it. You might have seen it. My precious. In that video, I removed the snorkel, I put a unifilter air filter in it, and I put on a stain tune exhaust pipe. Now that worked really well, but I did in fact create a problem. I'd created a choke point. The header was in the way. So I'd opened it up so there was more air going into the motor, and I'd opened it up from the back so there was more exhaust going out, but the factory header was acting as a choke point stuck in the middle there. Fast forward 2 years, and Delkevic has made a header specifically for the Gen 3. So about 3 seconds of thought and 2 mouse clicks later, it was in the post and on its way here. So in today's video, I'm going to install that Delkevic header on my KLR 650. I'm going to take you through the process and I'm going to share my thoughts on it all. After a good test ride, of course. A quick disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video. I bought this product with my own money from Delkevic's eBay website. Delkevic is not involved in the planning, production, or publication of this video in any way whatsoever. Now, if you do look in the description, you will find an affiliate link. If you do decide to buy one of these headers for your bike, eBay will split their sales commission with me at no extra cost to you. The relationship is with eBay, not with Delkevic. Okay, so this is the Delkevic header for the KLR. Now, the first thing that strikes me is it is so shiny. It's made from 304 grade stainless steel, so it's about as shiny as it gets. Now, I realize it won't always look this pretty, but my stay-in tune still looks pretty good after 2 years, so I'm pretty confident this is going to look nice for a long time. Also in the box, you get a new copper gasket, a big clamp to clamp your new header to your exhaust pipe, some silicone sealant, and of course the mandatory stickers. There are several features of the Delkevic header that I want to talk about, but first I want to get the old header off the bike so we can compare them side by side, or head to head. Now, removing the old header should be pretty straightforward. I'm hoping I can get in and out of here without having to remove the fairing or the crash bars, but we'll just see how it goes. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to undo the collar between the stay-in tune and the header. Pull the collar back out the way. All right, now this next part's important. Here we have the O2 sensor. If I just try and unscrew that there, I'm going to twist these wires up and possibly damage them. So you want to make sure you disconnect it first and then pull it out there after. So there's a little tab down here on the switch. You're going to press that in and then that just pops out like that. From there, 17mm spanner. Let's get the O2 sensor off. Oh, hang on. We're going to have to get this heat shield off first. Oh, got my knuckles. All right, heat shield is out. That is still going to twist up. All right, on second thought, I am going to have to undo this from up here because that is going to keep twisting. All right, that just pops out there with the help of a screwdriver. We can finish taking this off without twisting the cable up. All right, there is the O2 sensor. A bit blackened. That's him. So the tricky part's going to be getting up in here and undoing these nuts that connect the header pipe to the engine. Okay, so a 12mm socket gets me to this front one easily enough. And it's just a matter of slowly undoing this one, making sure that I don't bash the fairing with the end of the ratchet. All right, so at the front of the bike, behind the wheel, this bracket here's got to come off because it's blocking the other header nut up there behind it. So if I get that out of the way, then I should be able to get a socket up there onto it. All right, so removing that little bracket there from in front of the frame of the bike there, that just came straight out. It looks like it's a guide for some of the drainage hoses. That just comes straight out. That frees up the clearance to get into that other header bolt. So now I hope I can, oh no, we've got another clamp here. Just take the whole lot out in one go. All right, that's him. We seem to be off at the front there. We're off at that bracket, but we're not clearing the radiator bracket. So I'm gonna have to pull the stain tune off, and then we should be able to get it out. I've already undone everything else. This should just let go. Come on, baby. There we go. Okay. What are we hitting now? Come on, we're nearly there. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Might end up having to take this crash bar off. Don't want to do that. That fairing is out of the way. All right, fairing's coming off. Okay, now with that fairing off, hopefully we will have the space to got it. So now we have these two head-to-head on the table, the difference has become clear. Firstly, the Delkevic is clearly larger than the factory header. According to the specs, the Delkevic has an outer diameter of 42 millimeters compared to 35 mil on the factory unit. That's a 20% increase, which is really exciting. The Delkevic also boasts a thinner 1.5 mil wall, meaning that it will retain less heat, so hopefully the leg cooking effect should be reduced too. There's really only two more things to point out. The first is that there's a port here to screw in the O2 sensor, and as far as I can tell, that's the big difference between the Gen 2 and the Gen 3 headers from Delkevic. The other thing to point out is that there's also mounts here to attach the factory heat shield. Now, one of the things I love about this new header is that it's so shiny. However, the factory heat shield is black, and I really don't think I'm going to like the look of the two of them together. It's a bit of a missed opportunity for Delkevic here. I would have gladly paid an extra $20 for a matching stainless steel heat shield. Maybe they'll bring that out in the future. Oh, and we'll also save a bit on weight too, with the Delkevic weighing in at about 1.1 kilos, while the factory unit weighs in at about 1.3. So not a whole lot, but hey, every little bit counts on a KLR. All right, so the next step is I've got to try and wrestle this new one in. All right, well, that part was easy. Now the gasket. Now, I bet I just shot myself in the foot forgetting about that clip. Let's see if I can get this one in here. Oh, yeah, that looks right. Okay, so put that through there. All right, we'll take out the O2 sensor next. All right. I don't have any torque spanners, unfortunately, so do that up a little bit lightly for now. Get it back inside this clip up here, and then this, I'm gonna just clip back in there. All right. Okay, so now we've got to work out is, does that go over the Delkevic, or does that go inside the Delkevic? If it goes over, I've got to put the gasket seal on the inside of the stain tune. So that's going to then go over the outside of the Delkevic. If it's or it might be vice versa. All right, stain tune's going to go over the Delkevic, so the sealant's going on the inside of the stain tune. All right, so just looking at it, I've realized one thing. Pretty sure I put that hat on upside down. At the moment, it's concave up, which just occurred to me, if there's water, it's going to catch that water and guide that into the, could potentially guide that down into the header, which we of course don't want. So I'm just going to pull that back off and turn that upside down again. Okay, that's fixed. Now, gasket sealant. Okay, so new plan. Tighten up some of these bolts on the header, see if I can get that somewhat tight, and then I can work the muffler. All right, so we've got the header pipe installed all nicely now and tightened up. You can see how beautiful that stainless steel looks. God, that looks nice. And now you can really understand what I mean when I said I was disappointed about having to put a black heat shield over that beautiful stainless steel. That's such a shame. Anyway, let's get to it. And now that that's on, it's time to fire it up and have a listen. How good is that? That Delkevic header sounds amazing with that stay in tune muffler. But let's do a comparison. Let's jump in the time machine and we'll go back and have a listen to it with the standard header and the stay in tune muffler. How it sounds is just a small part of the reason I put this header on. The biggest part of the reason is that I wanted a performance boost. Now, the only way we're going to know that is to go for a ride. But first, I have to give it 24 hours to let that exhaust sealant cure properly, and then we can get amongst it. Yoo-hoo-hoo! Oh, maybe. Maybe this is fun. That sound. Oh, man. That is so good. Alright, obviously I've done a bit of driving through the suburbs before getting out here on the road to Canungra. So I've already formed a couple of thoughts on using the header. The first thing is the throttle response does seem to be a lot snappier. I feel like I'm getting to the power earlier, or I guess maybe lower in the rev range, something like that, but it definitely feels a lot more responsive. Now, as I do say in every video, I'm not an expert motorcycle rider or a mechanic, so take my opinion with a grain of salt. But yeah, that's where I'm at so far. It definitely feels snappier, feels more responsive. Love to show you a bit more, but we seem to be stuck behind a couple of Sunday drivers up here. And of course it is actually Sunday, so I can't really complain. With the throttle being a bit more responsive, I thought maybe it might have done something about the engine braking, but that doesn't seem to be the case. The engine braking still seems to be the same, and I guess that would make sense, seeing as the engine braking is primarily controlled by the EFI as I understand it, which is why that clutch bypass mod, a lot of people claim that works pretty well. So that makes sense. Oh, just had the first little backfire. Might do that for a little while the EFI is still working itself out with the modified exhaust on it now. Yeah, roll-on power seems to be much improved, much more eager to get up and running. Well, there goes one Sunday driver, that's good. The other thing to talk about is the heat. Now, typically, historically, on the right side of the bike, it just sort of pumped heat straight out onto your leg. And I deliberately just wore my running shoes today. I know that's a big no-no. I am a big proponent for ATGAT, but I wanted to make sure I was wearing my shoes and not my boots, just to make sure I could really feel that if there was a difference in heat without anything or without much in between me and the header. And I'm happy to say that I cannot detect any heat at all at the moment. Now, I have only been riding for about 25-30 minutes, but that should be more than enough for the bike to heat up and for that heat to be radiating out to my leg. But so far it doesn't seem to be. Not sure what just happened up front. The rider put his thumbs up and the pillion reached out and grabbed hold of the thumb. I don't know what symbol that is. Maybe he was farting on the pillion and that's the rider's version of pull my finger, I don't know. It certainly doesn't feel as doughy as it used to, particularly on these steep uphills. You'd be cruising along in a gear, hit a steep uphill, open up the throttle and you'd be sort of lugging the engine a bit. You'd be looking to change down a gear to get the revs up to get up the hill, but it doesn't seem to want to do that today with this new header. It just seems to want to just open up the throttle and away she goes. I'm digging it. Oh wow, creek is flowing beautifully today. For the next 3 kilometers, that's what we want. The acceleration does feel quite a bit more aggressive, a lot faster. Oh no, caravan. Well, that might be the end of my next 3 kilometers of windy fun, but maybe something will happen. So I want to say that the performance boost feels like it's as equal as much as possible to when I first bolted the stay in tune on. Now I realise that the stay in tune, they claim on their website, and they have dyno charts available if you ask them, that they claim about a 10% improvement, which would mean I'm basically trying to say that the whole exhaust would be a 20% improvement, and I realise that that's ridiculous. I realise that that's probably more in my head and more to do with the sound than anything else, but I will say that there is most definitely a performance improvement. I'll be looking forward to getting it onto the dyno one day. A dyno tune is in my plans. One day I'll get there. It's just it's going to cost me nearly $1,000 so far from the different quotes I've gotten, so I'm just still shopping around and saving my pennies, and one day I'll get there. But for now, just, oh man, that sound gets me every time. For now, I'll just say there's definitely a performance boost, and it's miles ahead of standard now that I've got the stain tune and the Delkevic and the uni filter, air filter, and I've pulled that snorkel out. I did those 3 mods in the part 1 of the Power Mod series, so if you haven't caught that yet, head back through the back catalogue of videos on my channel. You'll find it easy enough. Okay, overtaking lane, 300 meters ahead. There is a car and 3 bikes ahead of me before this caravan, but we'll just see. I don't think I'm going to get out there. No, it ends just there. There's too many in between. Geez, that must be the shortest bloody overtaking lane in history. Oh, and of course, now that we're out of the overtaking lane, now the caravan is slowing down to 70. Nice work, Bob and Susan. I do want to mention that with the Delkevic header and the stain tune, it is definitely seeming to pop and crackle less than when I just had the stain tune on. Now, it used to popple and crack, not a lot, but reasonably consistently with just the stain tune. And on this ride today, I've been out for about 40 minutes now, and I've only heard it do 2 little pops. So I feel like that's an improvement, and I think that that's probably because not being an expert, when I put the stain tune on, I didn't use any exhaust sealant silicone stuff. Basically, the stain tune didn't come with it, so I didn't know that it needed it. The Delkevic did, so when I installed it, oh, you just saw me install it, I did use that sealant. Oh, here we go, the slow climb. Going around. Where are you going, Mr. Bike? Okay, nice blinker, thank you. Okay, well, we're around one of the Sunday drivers at least. Anyway, this time I did use the sealant and it appears to be working much better. I think that might have been most of the reason for my crackling and popping with just the stain tune on. And I'm happy that this seems to have fixed it. My neighbours will probably be happier too. Nope, there's another little pop. I expect that'll settle down over time. I just love the sound it makes when you roll that throttle on. Yeah, there's definitely more snap in the throttle response. Definitely. Oh, hey, here we go. Nice. Bye-bye, Bob and Susan. Actually, I might take this right turn up to Tambourine. That'll give me some more twisties. Alright, here we go. Coming in a bit hot. No need to change down yet. Change up, if anything. Alright. Now we're into some twisties. Yeah, she just wants to pull from that lower gear. Should probably change down there, but I want to see how it pulls up out. Okay, that's better. That's better. Man, does not want me to change down a gear. Just pulls from down low, so much better than before. Oop. Alright, what have we got here? Hairpin switchback. Traffic lights up there, traffic lights down here. Nobody's parked up there waiting. Nobody's coming through. There we go. This is kind of an ugly corner. Oh, shit. Ha ha. Usually only do that when I'm wearing my boots. Back off, that's getting a bit fast, but just wants to keep accelerating up the hills now. Whee! Geez, they've still got this here. This was here 2.5 years ago when I came through after doing a ride training day with Mal Dalton, Old Man Speed Adventures. This might be a permanent thing. I thought it was roadworks, but perhaps not. Expect delays up to 5 minutes. Well, that sucks. There's that rattle. That's so annoying. I think I might just turn around and go back. I was only going to turn around and in a couple of 100 metres in Mount Tamborine anyway. Now we get to go back down the twisties. Won't be using much throttle for that. Might find I need a brake mod. Got any recommendations for a brake mod? Let me know in the comments below. I'm thinking steel braided brake lines, something like that. I have looked for them before on the internet, but I just couldn't find anything available in Australia that would fit the Gen 3. Especially considering that every bike here in Australia now must have ABS to sell new if you want to ride it on the road, so you can't just grab the brake cables of an old Gen 2 or even for a non-ABS Gen 3. That's not going to play either. It even sounds chunkier on the D-cell. It even sounds chunkier on the D-cell. I love it. And oh, hey, there we go. That's nice. Thank you. Oh, you stay where you are, back tyre. Slipper clutch on a KLR would be nice. I do find if I get a bit too aggressive with my downshifting, the back tyre wants to break out on me. It wasn't too bad that time, but I have scared myself a couple of times. Yeah, there's definitely, I can't feel any heat on my leg now. What's the time now? Midday. So I've been on it for an hour now and I can't feel any heat on that right leg at all. Very nice. All right, so we've got snappier acceleration, we've got much better sound, we've got far improved cooling on the right leg. Phew, what's not to be happy with? The acceleration is more aggressive, or at least feels more aggressive, feels faster. It's pulling better from low revs in the gears. Oh, here we go. Oh, at least we're back to the intersection. I can't be too frustrated. But yeah, very happy with the Delkevic, very happy. So let's head home to the studio. All right, so now that we're back, let's break it down and share some thoughts. And I'm going to kick things off with the install. The install was really straightforward, quite simple. The only bit of difficulty I had was fitting that stain tune back over the end of the header pipe. The Delkevic does come with its own little spacer that mounts over the end of the Delkevic header, and then your muffler's supposed to go over the top of that. But the stain tune was such a perfect fit, there was no way that spacer was going to fit in there anyway. The looks, I love the stainless steel. It's absolutely cracking. I just wish that we had that stainless steel heat shield, because once you put that black heat shield on, you're hiding 95% of that beautiful stainless steel anyway. That's a real shame, and I think Delkevic missed an opportunity there. But who knows, we might see that come out in the future. Now, performance. Yes, I know I'm going to hear it 700 times in the comments. Performance mods don't matter without a dyno run. And at the moment, I just don't have the dollars to do that. So all I can comment on is about how it feels. And while my butt is definitely no expert, I definitely feel like there's been a bit of a boost in performance here, particularly in the mid-range pep. And I want to guesstimate probably 10 to 15%, but I may be getting carried away because of the sound. The sound has just come alive on this bike. Factory, the KLR sounds a bit agricultural. Now it sounds like a monster. It sounds like a real beast ready to go tear the world apart. I love it. You may not, and that's okay, but I think it's a beast, and I really think that whilst it does sound better, that may be giving me a bit of a false sense of the improvement in the power. So value for money. Delkevic is a brand that has built their reputation. They've built their business on providing value for money products. And for 200 bucks, I really don't think you can go wrong with this Delkevic header. It gives you 20% more airflow than the original header. Coupled that with a more free-flowing muffler, you're away. I definitely feel like it was worth my $200. I'm pretty sure you'd find the same. Now, we all know a bit more power definitely improves the KLR off-road, but there's a ton more mods you can do to make your KLR tougher when the going gets rougher. Luckily, I've made a video showing all the off-road mods I've made to my KLR, turning it into an absolute off-road monster. So I'll see you there.